Welcome to this session. We are going to discuss how to draw a backward difference table and then see how to use the difference table to read some values. So let's demonstrate how to draw the table. So here we call it x, and then y equals to f of x, the function values of the function. So we have x naught, skip a line, write x1, skip a line, write x2, x3, x4, and then x5. And then so on the same line with x naught, you write f naught. Same line with x1, you write f1. This one f2, f3, f4, f5. So this is the first backward difference of the function f. This is the second backward difference of f. And then third backward of f. Fourth backward of f. Fifth backward of f. You can go up to nth backward difference. So remember, all these things will come from definition, that backward difference of f sub k is f sub k minus f k minus 1. So if I have for this space here f1 minus f naught, so f1 minus f naught implies I'll be defining backward of f1. So the value of k is 1. So f1 minus f naught defines backward of f1. And then this next space here, f2 minus f1. So f2 minus f1 means the value of k is 2. So that will be defining the fast forward of f2. So here, this space, you write f2. f3 minus f2 is backward of f3. f4 minus f3 is backward of f4. f5 minus f4 is backward of f5. And then second backward differences. So everything here will be having second backward, second backward, second backward. And then this is f2 minus f1 defines f2. f3 minus f2 defines f3. f4 minus f3 defines f4. f5 minus f4 gives f5. And then this column, everything will be having third backward, third backward, third backward. And then f3 minus f2 is f3. f4 minus f3 is f4. f5 minus f4 is f5. These are the column, everything will be fourth backward. This is fourth backward. Now we'll have f4 minus f3 is f4. Backward f5, f4 is f5. And then lastly here, we'll have this. So such a table is what we call the backward difference table for the function y equals to f of x. And you note that in this table, these are what we call the leading backward differences in every column. And you see that these ones here, everything so is power 1, power 2, power 3, power 4, power 5. This is power 1, power 2, power 3, power 4, power 5. So there's some, remember this is 5, not 6. The subscript here is 5. So there's some relationship with those differences and then the values of Fi's. So just correct this one. This should be 5. Which is 5. So let's see how to draw a specific backward difference table for numerical values. So question, draw a backward difference table for the function f of x given by x power 4 minus x power 3 plus 10 for x values 0, 1, 2, 3, up to 7. Now, for us to answer this question, we'll make a table of values of x and values of f. So solution, we'll have x and then f of x. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Now, when x is 0, value of the function will be 10. 1 will have also 10. 2 will have 18. 3 will have 64. 4, 202. 5, 510. 6, 1090. And 7, 20, 68. Now, once you have the values of the function and the x values, then draw call this one x. So this is f of x. I'll have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when x is 0, y is 10, 10, 18, 64, 202, 5, 10, and then 6, 7. 6 is 1090, 7 is 2068. Then this will be the first backward of f, second backward of f, third backward of f, fourth backward, fifth backward, and then sixth backward. So to get the difference, now these lines we have been leaving for consecutive values, you simply take the lower number minus upper number. So 10 minus 10 will give us 0. 18 minus 10 will give us 8. And then 64 minus 18 is 46. Next one is 138. Next one is 308. Next one is 580. Next one is 978. Our next difference, 8 minus 0 is 8. Our next one is 38. Next one is 92. Next one is 170. Next one is 272. Next one is 398. And then this will be 30. Next difference will be 54. Next difference will be 78. Next difference is 102. Next difference is 126. And here difference is 24. Here is 24. Here is 24. And then we have 24. Now this will be 0. This will be 0. This will be 0. And this will be 0. This will be 0. Then if we had the 7th difference, remember this is the same as writing so this is the same as seventh backward difference. So this 0 minus 0 is 0 here. So this is the difference table. And then you may be asked to find. So from this table, find the value of the fast forward difference of F2. So we can write so these are the fast differences. So from definition, this first number here of the value of the function is what takes F0, and then followed by F1. This would be F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, and then F7. So that if you want to illustrate the difference, so the first forward difference of F2, the number will be, so remember, we know that Fk is given by Fk minus 1. So by default, this first number for the function is what we call F0. This one is F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, and then F6, and then this one, F7. So then now, F1 minus F0 is given by, so F1 minus F0, K is 1, so it will be first backward of F1. So which means this is first backward of F1, and then this would be first backward of F2, this will be first backward of F3, first backward of F4, first backward of F5, first backward of F6, first backward of F7. And then everything here will be second backward. So this is the second backward of 2 minus 1 is F2. And then this is the second backward of F3. This is the second backward of F4. Second backward of F5. Second backward of F6. Second backward of F7. This column is for third backward. So third backward of, so F3 minus F2 is F3. F4 minus F3 is F4. And then this will give us F5. This will be F6. And this will be F7. Now this will be F4 minus F3 is F4. So this will be F5. This will be F6. This will be F7. Remember, this is 7, not 4. This is 7. And then this will be fifth backward. F5 minus F4 is F5. Fifth backward, F6. Fifth backward, F7. So this sixth backward of F6, sixth backward of F7, and this 0 is seventh backward of F7. So when someone asks us to find the value of the first backward of F2, we just come into this column and then we know the answer is 8. And then third backward of F4, if you go to this column, so we know that this third backward of F4 is 54. The answer is 54. If someone asks us to find the seventh backward of F1, then you see that in the column of seventh backward difference, there's nothing like F1. So this will say this is not applicable or cannot be read from the table. Cannot be read from the table. And then if someone asks you what's the interpretation of this number 1 or 2 in this difference table, you say 1 or 2 defines the third backward difference of F6. And then if someone asks you what does the value 78 mean, so you say 78 defines the third backward difference of F5. F4. F5 from this point here. So this is F5. And then 398 defines the second backward of F7. So that's how we draw a backward difference table and how we read the values from the table. And always the trend is that to get any difference, you simply take the lower number minus the upper number in that order. Thank you.